Tom, aka Gedeon, here for Star Frontiers Gamer. And we have another Frontiersman Friday, episode number 10. That means we are doing Star Frontiersman number 10. Great city scene here, very busy, very complicated. A lot for you to look at on this cover. I kind of like it. This is one of the first of two issues that Tom Stevens was editor for. So you had Bill Logan did all the preceding ones, and then Greg Rapp did the previous one, and now Tom Stevens will do two before it will shift again to Larry Moore. So and I'm going to point out that again we have shrunk in page size down to 25 to something very, very manageable. So let's get right to it. Frontier feedback. I don't know. Discussing, NPC ablative damage sheets, moving right along. This is old feedback. Abstract refereeing, what is now being called the hot button term. The buzzword today is theater of the mind, but abstract refereeing, no minis. Of course, I didn't like this because back when this was written, I was very much into minis, so completely ignored this article. I don't know what to tell you about it. But actually, I can tell you something about it. It's written by Brian Conway, who is known as Imperial Lord on the forums, and he was a great guy. I liked the stuff he posted. I liked the stuff he wrote. So even though I was completely uninterested in this for years, this style of refereeing, the abstract, everything's theater of the mind. I bet this is a pretty good article. I'm sure all I ever did was glance over it. Mercenaries of the UPF private sector. Now, this article endeavors to great illustration here. I love this verse, the way the dynamic pose that's going on here, and so there's a lot of background fluff. There's a lot of setting fluff here, including a Bill 7291, legalities of private military companies. So they're setting up to explain the presence of private military companies within the setting, and I think that's a good thing. And then they actually give us some private military companies. So this is a great article because it gives you a potential protagonist, antagonist for your game. This would either be somebody who's hiring the PCs, or it might be that members of a private military company are opposing the PCs. So great material. I think it's well worth using. Tales from the Falcon. This is yet another game report from Richard, aka Shadow Shack, and it's a game report from his basically speaking game. It's Mission 2, the SOS. And I'll let you read it yourself. It's a game report, not much to say there. Drolosite facts. Drolosite facts were, I think it was just I did not participate in this forum post, but it was just people posting, throwing things out there, and they came up with a list of 51. I wish they had a full 100. Don't you just love a D100 table? So, and this is just joking. A lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff here, like number 6. Since 82, Drolosite doctors love to shave patients, even if they don't need it. So it was a lot of silly stuff. So it's a bit of humor, one page. And then we get into my big takeaway article from this issue, Spacer Skills Revisited. And this is because I know people disagree with me, but I do not like the Nighthawks prerequisites. The prerequisites in Nighthawks generally require that a character reach level 6 skill in in the skills that they needed. Uh, like pilot. The pilot had to have level 6 technician skill to become a pilot. An engineer needed level 6 no, he needed level 4 and level 4 technician, level 2 robotics. Astrogator needed level 6 in computers, and so on and so forth. I don't like these because you had this really insurmountable height to scale to get those prerequisites before you could become a spacer, before you can start going. Look, it's sci-fi. We want to go in space. We all want to be Han Solo or Luke Skywalker. We want to jump in our ship and go. And we don't want this screwing around trying to get to level 6, which was an insane amount of experience points in the system. So I like this progressive spacer skills, that for pilot level 1, you must get to technician 2 and computers 1. In fact, let's blow this table up so you can see it on the screen. So pilot level 1 is technician 2 and computers 1. That's very doable. And if you're playing a game where you're going to start the player characters with 1 second level skill and 2 first level skills, yeah, this is very, very doable for somebody who wants to be the pilot. The engineer's got to be level 2 technician and a level 1 roboticist. So very doable to get to level 1 engineer. So you could start, if you're starting players out with a level 2 skill and 2 level 1 skills, providing they choose the right skills, they can start with a spacer skill. So you could start day 1 of your Star Frontiers game with the players having a ship under this particular fan adaptation, where it's a progressive. In order to advance in the spacer skill, you've got to advance these prerequisites right along. My newest thinking on this, I like this, but my newest thinking on it is, look, you just need the level 1 prerequisites, and then you can advance pilot skill as much as you want. I just don't feel like the prerequisites are just that important. So to get the spacer skill, you fulfill the level 1 prerequisites, and then you just advance spacer skill, the piloting, engineering. You just advance it when you want to advance it. You don't worry about any more progressive prerequisites. That's how I roll with it now. So I still use this table, but only as far as the first level, and then spacer skills can be just advanced. I don't see the point for the prerequisites. I know there are some people who like it and think, oh yeah, no, you got to keep them in. I don't have to keep them in my game. and that's just where I'm going to go with that. But again, I thought this was a great addition. It's 1 page. It's a 1-page rule, and thrown in here. Very good. New Frontier weapons. Heavy gyrojet rifle. I like gyrojet weapons in the game. And so, yeah, bring on the heavy gyrojet weapon. Even more than this is somewhere along the lines, we're going to come across the tri-barrel gyrojet weapon. Even better. But for right now, heavy gyrojet weapon kind of looks like the weapons they were using in the movie Aliens. Kind of cool. So, and then there's some grenades thrown in here. Albedo grenade, laser grenade, some new wrinkles. So, these grenades are good for, you need a new challenge, new speed bump to throw in the player character's ways. Well, the NPCs just happen to have laser grenades. There we go. Fun for the game master. Last of the breed. Another fiction from Will Sines. And then here we have, shrink it down a little bit, NPC character sheets. So this first one here is great. I totally love this. And you're getting basically 1/8 page. If it wasn't for such a big headline here, I bet you could print this on, Avery business cards, again, like the Nighthawks sheets. but I got a feeling that because of this big headline, you can't do that. But these are great. Larry Moore did these. These are great looking. You know, print the sheet on cardstock, cut them up. You know, fill in your NPCs. I think this is great. You know, or not cut them up. I had the Tim Kask Dark Colony module that I reviewed, and that module had a one-page NPC roster of 40 NPCs, and so that was the station personnel at the colony, and you could hand that out to the player characters because you weren't really giving them much information other than they now have a list of all the colony's personnel, 40 of them. There was then a second list that was all 40, but with notes where they were located, what had happened to them. Some of them were dead, so that second list, having all of that, I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So this, if you've got an adventure and, you've got only 8 NPCs, one of these with your notes behind the Game Master screen is going to be very handy. You'll have all of your NPCs organized, and you'll be able to refer to them very quickly for when things are happening in game. Now, here are the next page is a half-page NPC block, but this is keyed to the ablative damage rule that was included 2 issues back in issue number 8. So because I never used the ablative damage rule, I actually never used these, but I suppose you very easily could doctor this, in GIMP or Photoshop, and just make this a square where you're going to slip in a portrait, for this. So this is still usable. You could even print this and just paste a picture over that. So I think this is still usable, but I don't, again, I don't like it, and I didn't use it because of the ablative damage rule being added to it explicitly. And then we got some more classifieds. We see the heavy gyrojet weapon again here in the classifieds. Gorko and Torita are added again. This classified is called Endgame. And Risco, high risk paramilitary operations. This is picking up the Mercenary Company article, that was earlier in the magazine. So again, just some classifieds that player characters bouncing around the web, the net, the information net would find. And another great article, another great issue. And it was a very manageable issue of only 25 pages. So this one has shrunk down even further than the previous one. It's a good move. And, because I know later on some of these issues really ballooned out in pages. And, it gets unwieldy. And it's probably a massive chore for the layout guy to handle that, when you've got such a huge issue. So good on Tom. His first issue's a successful one here, great layout, and it was a manageable size, and it came just a couple months after the previous issue. Star Frontiersman at this time did not have an established publication schedule. It was very erratic, but so this came out very quickly, and that's probably why it was only 25 pages. You're saving up content. And there you go. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. Appreciate you. And I will see you in the frontier.